What is going on, everybody? It is I, the one and only Yerk Skywalker. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Indiana Jones 4K box set unboxing happened today, and it's pretty great. It's right here in all of its beautiful glory. Yup. Boy, oh boy, is this a beautiful box set. But that's not what we're here to talk about right now, because I've already uploaded that video. It's still, I believe, might be processing. Otherwise, you can go check it out. Just go search my videos on my channel. Before I begin and continue, make sure to subscribe. It would really help my channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like and leave a comment down below if you would like to as well. And also, make sure you do if you do subscribe, you also hit the notification bell so you never miss any videos that yours truly, the one and only Yerk Skywalker, upload. Anyway, today we are here to talk about Bad Batch Episode 8. This episode is the third best episode in the series. So here's how it goes for me. Episode 8, Episode 7, Episode 1. Those are my top 3 episodes of Bad Batch so far. There was a big reveal, which we'll get into a little later in the review. I'm going to try to definitely keep this review a lot shorter than the other reviews, just because I don't think people really want to watch a 30-minute review. And even again, my first episode, which again, the first episode review I did of Bad Batch when it first came out, the first episode was an hour-long episode. It was an hour and 15 minutes. Technically 12, because 3 minutes credits, but who's counting? I'm just saying, it was an hour-long episode, and I only did 19 minutes for that. So honestly, I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. I'm trying to keep my videos between 10 to 20 minutes. No more than 25 at the most. Because obviously, the 30-minute videos don't do as well. If you do want to check those videos out, I would greatly appreciate it. And consider giving me some feedback on each of these videos. Alright. So, the Bad Batch at this point are still on Bracca, which is the planet we saw in Episode 7, with Rex's return in Episode 7, and also it's seen in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. We start off on Kamino, back on Kamino. Crosshair and his group of conscripted soldiers, the first Imperial Stormtroopers as they are, walk into a room to find the Prime Minister Lama Su, talking with Imperial Admiral Rampart, who's the younger admiral underneath Governor Tarkin. And he doesn't really like the clones at all, and he wants to make conscripted soldiers a thing as well as Tarkin because, well, they're just cheaper and easier to deal with. Plus, Tarkin has put him in charge of said project of getting only conscripted soldiers for the Empire's military. So, he kind of has a lot of stress on the soldiers. And he interrupts their meeting as Lama Su and Rampart are talking, and Crosshair says, "We just got word from Bracca from the Scrappers Guild." And then he puts up a puck, basically, and it shows Hunter, and he said, "It's Clone Force 99. Lama Su recommends that they bring him and the Bad Batch in alive. Rampart says, "I want nothing to do with these rogue deserter clones. So therefore, if you do see them on Bracca," this was Rampart's orders to Crosshair and his group, "terminate them." So basically, he's put a death mark on the Bad Batch. Cut back to the Bad Batch on Bracca. Wrecker is training Omega. And now again, this pretty much confirms that Omega is not a Mary Sue. Mary Sue meaning all-powerful at everything, perfect protagonist, no issues whatsoever. The only thing Rey had a problem with was just emotional issues, but really, she's perfect. She's totally fine at everything. She's so perfect, she commits identity fraud, takes the last name of Skywalker. But yeah, she didn't have to train for anything. Omega has to train for stuff. And again, she has failures. She couldn't disarm this bomb. Wrecker tells her, "They weren't supposed to cut that one. Run for it!" They run for it, and next thing you know, it goes off, and Wrecker's like, "I got you." And she's like, "How did you know it was going to go off?" And he's like, did you, or actually she asks him, "Why did it not blow up?" And she goes, Well, it's a smoke bomb. Did you really think I was going to let you do an actual explosive one on your first try? And she obviously is like, I guess not. And he's like, cheer up, kid. It'll be all right. Echo tells them it's time to return because they need to talk with Hunter. And she's kind of upset. We cut forward ahead. She goes up to help Tech fix the ship's communications center at the bridge of the scrapped Venator, Republic class Venator, which is what the Imperial Star Destroyers become, basically. After these Republic Venators are all decommissioned and scrapped on Bracca and various worlds like Corellia, as I mentioned in the previous episode. And episode 6's review. Which also has 4 and 5. Because I did all 3 of them on vacation in one video. Anyway. She goes up to the ship. Tech tells her what to do to check this out, to get this communications thing online, basically. Omega looks outside the window and sees all these ships outside, and she asks Tech what was the war like. Tech responds with the most bland and uninteresting response that really would not help a kid understand anything, nor even me, of what he thinks of the war. But he pretty much just sees it all as numbers and letters and objectives and, enemy lines, flag lines, capture the flag, it's all just a game. It's just all just a big battlefield laid out on a map. Pretty much is what he says. That's not what he says, but that's pretty much what he means. It's all just numbers and letters and strategic points, objective flags, objective points, campaigns on different planets. She's like, no, but what was it like? Meaning, what was it like to be in the war? Was it exciting? Was it scary? That's what she really wants to know. And of course, that's what the audience kind of wants to know from Tech 2. Tech just says, oh, well, I just told you what it was. It was numbers and letters on a map, essentially. The red button starts flashing, and she's like, why is that flashing? And Tech says, oh, well, it's probably a glitch from its last transport. It's fine. It's fine. And then it's not fine, because then the Imperial shuttles, the first ones, fly over their ship. Tech warns the Hunter that the Empire's there and they have company. And it's Crosshair. They scout out from the bridge. They make their plans. They're going to go through the artillery points. And they go through the artillery bay because they can't go down through the hangar because Crosshair is going to intercept them there. But he actually plays them. But before you get to there, Crosshair first gets off the ship. The Imperial grunts, the humans, are like, I can't get anything on the scanners. Tech obviously is jamming them, and they don't know that. But this is going to show you the parallels between clone troopers, Jango Fett clone troopers that become the first stormtroopers versus human grunts that are born and raised, whatever other world, and don't have a lot of experience with shooting, or they're not trained. They were not trained from birth like the clones were. The clones of Jango Fett were trained from birth to be soldiers, valiant, elite soldiers. Many of the stormtroopers that we see in the original trilogy, and even before that in Star Wars Rebels and Jedi Fallen Order, they're not. They're pathetic. They are an inkling of the strength of the clone army of the Grand Army, the clone army that was the Grand Army of the Republic. They are an inkling of that strength. I'm not about to make an Invincible meme about look how much they need to have mimic a fraction of our power. I'm not about to make a meme about that. But anyway, that's actually a very good comparison though too. Crosshair tells them it's not atmospheric interference, it's because they're jamming us. That means they're still here on the planet. Scout out and search for them. So then they're going to cut them off at the hangar. Hunter says, we'll cut them off. We'll make a shortcut through the artillery. But they actually get played because, of course, Crosshair knows them better than they know themselves. And they are surrounded by him, the human conscripts, and Jango Fett clones under the command of the Empire. They have a Hunter and Wrecker, they all have a confrontation with, Crosshair. Omega tells Crosshair, I told you in the brig on Kamino, you can't help it. You can't help but want to fight. It's an inhibitor chip. You can't fight it. Crosshair then says, aim for the kid, and then Hunter goes, this is our fight. This is between you and me. Your issue's with me, not her. And I love how Hunter is continuing to be a father figure for her. I really like that. And it's just sad that Crosshair is under this manipulation from Order 66 and Darth Sidious. It's just so sad. And all the clones, for that matter, all the Jango Fett clones are under the inhibitor chips. You gotta remember, the human grunts, they're just conscripted. They believe in the Empire. They believed in the Republic. They believed in the Empire. They believe in Palpatine. Maybe they're trying to get off the planet even if they don't believe in Palpatine because they want a better life. And they feel like the Empire can give them that. Because they actually were smart, because they're going to have rights when the rest of the public does not. Eventually. Later on in the later years nearing the original trilogy. So, it's just very interesting to see all these dynamics play out. So then, Echo gets the cannon on. We see a cannon that was manned by clone troopers in the Republic Venator against Separatist flagships in Revenge of the Sith. The big ion cannons that open fire and either shoot blue blaster bolts for Republic. Separatist ones shot red for the Separatists. There's a scene of that in the Battle of Coruscant. One of those shots from the Republic Venators actually brings Grievous's ship, the Invisible Hand, down in Revenge of the Sith, and they have to go into emergency maneuvers. So it was cool to see that little tie into Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I mean, I think we might have seen them in the Clone Wars. I think we saw those cannons in the Clone Wars. I'm pretty certain we did. But yeah, it opens fire, and it actually makes the deck that they're on in the artillery bay unstable. Then Hunter shoots a couple clones. What's so funny is I love that Wrecker he punches one clone down, yeets him out the window, and then the other clone can't even get up before Wrecker punches him in the back, and then goes, yeah, and just yeets him out the freaking... He just picks him up by the back and the legs and yeets him out the window into the abyss. And you just hear him scream, and I'm like, I'm surprised they didn't put a Wilhelm scream there, because that's one of the most famous screams in all of Star Wars, let alone other movies for that matter, but especially Star Wars. That's where that scream actually became very famous, was Star Wars. That was the first time that scream was used from, I forget what movie it's originally from, but that Star Wars was what made that scream famous. And then other people used it in movies like Toy Story, Indiana Jones. Granted, it was made by George Lucas as well, so that's probably why. But, so many of the movies have used it. Marvel movies have used it. DC movies have used it, I'm pretty certain. TV shows have used it. Comic books have used it. I don't know about comic books. Not comic books. Video games have used it. It's one of the most iconic screams of all time, and it's really cool it's interesting that they gave him a different scream. I don't know. I just thought that was a unique little touch that they added there. So then they get stuck in the Ion engine. Tech starts rambling on about it, and Wrecker's like, yeah, we don't care, keep moving. I love how Wrecker's just like, literally, Wrecker is my spirit animal, because literally, when I don't want to hear about something, I don't hear about something. When I want to go on and on and on about something, then I'm basically like Tech, because it's useless information, but I think it's cool and important to me. So I can relate to both of them in their own ways. How Tech loves all the information, and I love information regarding movies, culture, video games, comic books, lore, history, all that kind of stuff. I just think it's kind of cool to see a little bit of yourself in the characters. And anyway, so they eventually, one of the clones gets to multiple clones actually get to the bridge where Tech and Omega were earlier getting it online. And Crosshair finds them, the Bad Batch, in the Ion engine, which is the part of the ship that obviously pushes it forward and allows you to go into light speed and all that. And he starts firing it up. And then they're like, what are we going to do? Wrecker mentioned something about Plan 80 or Plan 7. Echo goes, that has absolutely nothing to do with the situation at hand. And he's like, well, I don't know, you think of something. I just thought that was a funny line. That was a good one. I was really hoping to actually see what Plan 7 was, but it didn't have anything to do with the plan, so dang it, Wrecker. But anyway, no. So we get eventually to them going into how many explosives do we have. They plant the explosives on the ion, in the middle of the ion charge where the flame's about to, or near where the flame's going to come out. They ignite it, and then they go falling all the way down. They're part of the ion engine. Like, there's multiple ion engines on a Venator ship and a Star Destroyer. There's a lot more on a Venator than there is a Star Destroyer, I believe. Wait. No, there's the same amount. Maybe a couple extra. I don't know. I actually probably should know that, because I should know that. Just because that's the nerd in me. But anyway, their half of the Venator engine flies down. They tumble, but they survive, obviously, because they take care of Omega, especially since she's so tiny and frail in a way. And Crosshair and the other clones that are sitting up atop near the ion engine get caught in the blast radius. The other clones are okay. I mean, they get knocked out. I don't know if they die or anything like that, because we don't really see them die or anything like that. Crosshair's helmet's off, and he gets scorched by the flames, because the flames are so hot. He gets absolutely scorched! And I'm not talking Anakin Skywalker, Revenge of the Sith scorched, or burned alive. I'm talking his eyes get scorched, his face gets scorched. I mean, it's bad, man. Like, in reality, that would probably fry someone and literally set them on fire like Anakin Skywalker. If I'm being 100% honest, that's probably enough fire in real life to light someone on fire. Even from that distance, I guarantee you someone, if they didn't get set on fire, they would be way, way more badly burned. I guarantee you 100% about that. But who knows? We will never know, because Star Wars physics aren't necessarily real life physics. But I digress. So yeah, he gets burned. The clones find him, and he stutters out, they're gonna get away. You gotta stop them. And he passes out again. They end up having to put a breathing mask on him and putting a diaper, basically, essentially, on his face. His situation isn't so much like an Anakin Skywalker type burn. His situation is more of a Dengar burn. If you don't know who Dengar is a bounty hunter from both the Star Wars Legends and Star Wars canon. He's specifically in the Clone Wars, and he also makes an appearance in Star Wars Battlefront from EA. And he's in several bounty hunter comics. That's where he's more famous from. He actually does make an appearance, obviously, in The Empire Strikes Back, and the back of his body makes an appearance in Return of the Jedi, but we don't see more than that. But his real first appearance was The Empire Strikes Back, when Vader is tasking all the bounty hunters to find Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon. But yeah, no, Dengar, in Legends anyway, he got in an accident with Han Solo, a pod racing accident, and his face got all fricked up. He still gets married, though, several years later, after he rescues Boba Fett from the Sarlacc pit after Return of the Jedi. And then, in canon, I don't know how he gets burned exactly, but, yeah, I'm just fixing something real quick. And, yeah. So, yeah, Crosshair kind of looks like Dengar right now, with a breathing mask that's very similar to Darth Malgus, more so than Darth Vader. I mean, Anakin does have it on when he's still burned, something like a matte breathing oxygen mask kind of like it, except this one that Crosshair has on is a little more yellow and black around the edges, versus what Anakin's was. I had to go back and watch the movie, but it's more white. It's more clear. You can see his breathing mouth for the most part. But yeah, in terms of the breathing mask, it's more like Darth Malgus from the Old Republic. So Hunter and Omega make it back up to the bridge of the ship. They wonder why all the clones are dead. So then we get the reveal of Cad Bane. Cad Bane, the bounty hunter, the legendary bounty hunter after Jango Fett, before Boba Fett, is back. And he ends up beating Hunter in a draw of weapons, Western style. Hunter gets shot in the chest, and Hunter's shot actually, because he gets shot first, hits Cad Bane's droid that helped him get into the Jedi Temple and steal a Jedi Holocron in the beginning of Season 2, gets his booster shot off, and he's also voiced by Seth Green. Funny enough. So then Cad Bane goes to Omega after she freaks out and pulls her bow out, and then Cad Bane's droid knocks her bow out of her hands. Cad Bane goes, sorry to do this, little lady. She puts her hands up like this, like as if she's going to get shot, and then he just stuns her, obviously. And we know that these bounty hunters are being hired by Lama Su and Nala Se, the Kaminoan Prime Minister and the Kaminoan Doctor that we saw at the beginning of the Bad Batch on Kamino. And I believe Nala Se also appears several times in the Clone Wars, as well as, of course, Prime Minister Lama Su, who is originally from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. We know that they tasked some bounty hunters to find Omega so they can begin Phase 3 of the Clone Army, so they can keep their contract with the Empire. Which, again, we know that's not going to happen, because we know that the Imperial Stormtroopers are going to become all born, raised human recruits. They're just going to have different lives, and they're going to not be able to hit for crap. That's why the Stormtroopers can't hit crap. Except for when they're in close quarters, or when they're the elite fist of Vader, which was what was known as Vader's Fist, which was originally the 501st Legion, which is only for the elite of the elite troopers, which is why it was only handpicked human troopers that were of the most elite. The ones that actually could hit shots were part of Vader's squad that raided the Tantive 4 in the original film, Episode 4, A New Hope, because they were the most elite. But every other Stormtrooper we see, whether that be Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Rebels, The Mandalorian, either season, Jedi Fallen Order, at least the ones that aren't actually like elite gunmen or have special weapons or anything like that, or they aren't Purge Troopers, that's why they can't hit crap. Because they just can't. They just can't. They're just not good. They don't get enough training. So yeah, Omega gets captured. And then we get a little Republic Commando Easter egg, because we see inside Hunter's visor, which honestly, it takes you back to Republic Commando and being in the game and your visor being like that and having a little circle in the middle of it, and it tells you where to aim, essentially, is what I'm assuming that does. They're trying to get off the thing, more troopers shooting. You can see it's from Hunter's perspective, getting carried into the Bad Batch's ship. Wrecker is opening fire with his DC-15 modified SMG, and they get in the ship, and they get off Braca and escape. Hunter's like, Hunter is asked by Tech and Wrecker, where's Omega? What happened to her? And Hunter replies, he got her. And then he goes, who, Crosshair? No, a bounty hunter. We have to go after her. And then it ends. There's some other little Easter eggs regarding to Seven, who is the sniper of Delta Squad in Republic Commando. And, of course, the Bad Batch is very much inspired by Delta Squad from Star Wars Republic Commando, the video game. And it's clearly shown. It's so clearly shown because Crosshair's number is, the last number, I believe, for him is 7. Sev's number is 7 in Republic Commando. Sev, of course, is the Delta Squad sniper marksman, whose name is short for 7. That's his number. His number is 07. But he gets called Sev for short. And Crosshair is very much like him in that regard. Overall, guys, it was cool to see Cad Bane. It was cool to see so much action, so much intensity. And it's kind of a Mandalorian formula, if you really think about it, though, too. Because in Mandalorian Season 2, even though this is the first season of Bad Batch, in this one of the seasons of Mandalorian, Grogu, aka once known as Baby Yoda, just Baby Yoda, gets captured by the Empire. And now Omega's been captured by the Bad Batch. Not Bad Batch, I'm sorry. By Cad Bane. Now she's been kidnapped, same way Grogu gets kidnapped, to a certain extent. So it's a similar formula they're going to go after. At the same way the Mando went after Grogu, the Bad Batch is going to go after Omega. And I like that kind of formula. I think it's interesting. But anyway, guys, that's my episode 8. Honestly, guys, this is a solid 9 out of 10 for me. Some things, some parts it was a little slow. I'm not too keen on the human recruits as much. I mean, they don't really interest me that much. But, you know, that's really a minor thing. One thing I don't like is the way Rampart treats these Kaminoans. So that kind of brought it down for me. It's like, you would think you would try to actually communicate with and negotiate properly, but I guess it is part of his way of thinking. I think many of the people in the Empire, especially the ones in command, have superiority complexes out the wazoo. But anyway, what do you guys think? Have you watched this episode yet? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? How'd I do? Leave me a like and a comment down below. Or dislike if you'd rather. Just tell me, that tells me I'm not doing my job or I need to improve. Tell me what improvements I could make other than getting a better camera and, you know, maybe not going on too many nerd rants, which I haven't done in a while. At least I try not to. Unless you think they are nerd rants, which if you do think they are, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already considered subscribing. And if you do subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. I already love you guys no matter what. Thank you for those that do watch. I greatly appreciate and love you guys. And also make sure once again to hit the notification bell if you do subscribe so you never, ever miss any of my videos. Yours truly, the one and only Gjurk Skywalker. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are having a great summer. I hope you guys are enjoying the summer content as well. Hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying positive. God bless. And until next Friday, remember, the Force will be with you. Always. Take care, guys.